Well, the Pakistanis were certainly feeling at home at the home of cricket. My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live, looking back at the first half of this encounter between Pakistan and South Africa. This Sunday spectacular, and certainly getting over 300 was maybe not even something they had in their plans when they started from ball one, but they won the toss, decided to bat first, and I think their batsmen paying Sarfraz's fate very much. 308 for 7 in their 50 overs, and what an innings from Haris Sohail. Remember, coming into this team instead of the experienced Shoaib Malik, and showing exactly why he's not just been the man in form for them in 2019, but even being in and out of the team didn't affect him. In the studio, Zaheer Khan, Robin Uthappa exceeded all our expectations certainly, but I guess Pakistan will be delighted with those runs on the board.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they'll be more than happy to be defending 309 compared to where it seemed like the score would drop to before Haris Sohail came in to bat. I thought he batted exceptionally, came in, took the attack to the South Africans immediately as soon as he got in a bat, and stitched up a very important partnership with Babar Azam, which was critical at that point in time for Pakistan. It was also a good move to send him at number 5. So credit must be given to the team management and Sarfraz to make that move and send him ahead of himself, which worked in Pakistan's favour in reaching 308 today.
You could see they were thinking. It's not just Haris Sohail. Even after that, Imad Wasim being promoted, Wahab Riaz at a time when you needed someone who could hit the big sixes. So they were obviously thinking a lot about it and making those decisions.
They were keen to turn things around. That's something which was very visible from ball one. The intent was there, the body language was there. They were very clear in their thought process. Not complicating things. They just wanted to go out there, express themselves, and put the pressure back on the bowlers. The wicket is playing superb, so that worked in their favour because of the intent which they went in with. Some of the boundaries through covers and point region, which we saw early on in that first hour, was a treat to watch. So that is something which set the tone for them. So even though South Africa did get those breakthroughs, some brilliant work from Imran Tahir as well with the ball, it was the platform was set for them to get to 300. Haris Sohail had to really make sure to play the innings the kind of inning which he has played. To make sure that they've gone beyond that 300 mark. The wicket looked like 290, 300 wickets. So that's something which they should be happy with.
This is what tells the story really when he came in there. In fact, from ball one, he went 4.6 in that third segment, and then from 31 all the way to 50, scoring at 7.4 between 31 and 40, and then 9+ in the last 9 overs, even though they lost a few wickets. I think it was just the right kind of planning for a 50-over innings, and of course, right at the beginning, Inzamam ul Haq's nephew looking really good.
Oh, he played some delightful shots. It was just an absolute treat to watch. I thought just the way he hit through covers, and suddenly you heard people saying that he could only play the leg glance, and then you suddenly saw how untrue that all was. You felt that he had command over his game and was playing with conviction, and it seemed like that solid foundation that they laid was just the impetus that they needed to set up such a big total. I just felt that, like we spoke in the first comm box, that between that first wicket and that second wicket, you felt the run rate dropping. You felt that I think it was Imam was batting with Babar Azam. Babar Azam came in a bat, and he felt like he was a little under pressure to perform, and he was taking a little time.
And Hafiz slowed it down.
Yes, and when Hafiz came in a bat, it slowed down a little bit furthermore. And I think it was the fall of Hafiz's wicket on the, I think in the 29th over is when things kind of changed, and you can see the stark difference. It was 3.9 or 3.6 at the point, the run rate in between the 21st and the 30th over, and then between the 30th and the 40th over, 7.6, 7.8, and then the last 9.1. So you can see that stark difference, and that's where the game actually turned in Pakistan's favour. When Haris Sohail came to bat, took a lot of pressure off Babar Azam, which gave him the freedom to kind of accumulate runs at the other end and make sure that he doesn't get out. He would have liked, I'm sure, to go ahead and bat through so that one hand is held up, but you have to give credit to Imad Wasim for coming into play and batting without even losing any momentum through the whole course of his innings, which helped them get to 300. That critical that change, when a wicket falls, generally a batsman takes a little time to settle down, but he came in and played a crucial role to make sure that he doesn't take time, goes, the first ball he stepped out and hit a 4, cracked a 4 off the front foot, and you knew that he was there to make sure that the momentum doesn't drop.
Haris Sohail is an interesting character. When he came into the Pakistan team, it was almost like he was a bits and pieces player. Bowls a bit of left arm spin, and yes, maybe he can bat at 7, 6, 5 in the order. No one was quite sure of his role. He played till 2015, then had a 3-year hiatus, and then when he came back in 2018, it seemed as if he had mentally gone through a change where he was much more confident about his batting. His bowling's always there, and I think the numbers tell a story since January 2018. We'll just show this to you, Zaheer, then I'll get your reaction. 14 innings since January 2018, and he scored 643 at an average of over 50. Decent strike rate. He's got a couple of hundreds. Today would have been his third had he got that in 2019 itself. Already got 200s in this.
But it has certainly been an inspiring change for Pakistan in this tournament for sure. They needed someone to come in and take that kind of responsibility, either from the existing playing 11 or someone who has come from outside. Now when someone from outside comes in and does this kind of a shift in terms of mindset and momentum of how you're playing cricket in that particular tournament, that goes a long way, I feel. So from Pakistan's point of view, I think this can be the spark which they are looking at. Haris Sohail is looking a good touch player. He's someone who was not looking stuck. Since the time he walked in, he was not looking stuck. Was using the pace nicely. Predominantly a back foot player, but pretty assured of his game plan. He knows what are his areas. He sticks to that. You've seen some of the shots which he played on the up, through the off stump, through the offside, and the mid wicket region. He knew exactly where the gaps are. When the mid on was up, deep mid wicket was back, and he still managed to squeeze that one boundary. Shows that he's assured of his areas, and when as a batsman you have that clarity, and which the numbers also showing, which you rightly suggested, that okay, how he has changed his game. So I think that's how he has changed his game. He's understood his areas, how to score runs, because you can have all the shots in the books, but how to use it in the game time, in the match scenario, match situation, when the pressure is on, how the over stack-ups is something which is called experience. Batsmen learn that art as they go along, and once they figure out, you see the results which we've seen today.
Robin, you
also, in the 2015 World Cup, I remember I saw him batting at number 3 in that highlights against India a few days ago. He batted at number 3 in that 2015 World Cup, and then you see, interestingly, he was batting at number 6 and number 7. But today, I think was a clarity for Pakistan as well, to have him at number 5, coming down after Hafiz. And then Sarfaraz plays the role of a floater. So if, say for instance, Pakistan lose 3 quick wickets at the first power play, then you can send someone like Sarfaraz to kind of block that, to stem the fall of wickets to happen and hold one end up for Pakistan. So this game kind of gives you a definition of what your batting order is moving forward into the tournament, and who is that floater. Because someone like Sarfaraz is not a big hitter of the ball. He seems more like a grafter, touch player. So you want him to be able to play a flexible role. So I remember him coming into this tournament saying that he's going to be batting at number 5. Everyone else would find their spots around him. But I think if he can make that change and that swap his place around to play a floater's position, would give the rest of the players clarity as to where they're going and play the way they're playing right now.
I think they've already made that change, but I want to get your opinion on Haris Sohail to add to what Zaheer has said. We talked about how the beauty of Imamul Haq. You will see a Haris Sohail innings and you won't be going wow every time he plays that. You'll just go, oh, that's another 4. There's another 6. Yeah, that's the difference.
Definitely, obviously. So I think he is more of, as much as he's got touch there, he's also got power. You saw that 6 that he hit off Rabada over point. That went 20 rows back. You know that he's got a lot of power within as well. So he's someone who's going to be effective in that sense as well for Pakistan in this tournament.
Yeah, I think that change in mindset was what did everything. Sarfaraz particularly a good example that Robin gave in terms of not being inflexible at that number 5 position. What about the South African bowling? We talked about it briefly on Cricbuzz Combox on both occasions, but the lead bowler, KG Rabada, finishing wicketless. That's a rare sign, 10 overs, none for 65, and Giri picking up 3 wickets in his last spell. But you'd have to say that if they got the backup Tahir bowled so beautifully. If one of the 3 or 2 at the top could have backed him up, this could have been 250, 260.
You need impact at the top for that to happen. You need impact at the top. 2-3 wickets in that first 15 overs to restrict teams at say 230 to 270, 280. Those kind of scores. Apart from Imran Tahir, I think no one has looked that effective today. But it's a byproduct of some good batting and a good track. I think it's for seam bowlers there is nothing much. You've seen that slower one is not holding in the wicket. It's coming onto the bat nicely. So you will see that in the second innings as well. I think what is going to be the differentiating factor is the spin. Because you've seen with Imran Tahir, he was using the speed variations in spin very nicely. The turn was not there. You've not seen a big turn or alarming turn on this track, alarming seam movement. Nothing has been seen in the first innings. You would expect the wicket to play in the similar fashion in the second innings. So it will be interesting to see how the spinners go. If Pakistan spinners come into play, then it will be difficult for South Africa to win this match. But for seamers, I don't think there is that much of a help with the new ball or with the old ball. The cutters are also not working. So unless something happens with the new ball or the likes of Amir, the kind of form he is in, the X factor in Shaheen Afridi where he gets that extra bounce, or the lack of form of South African batsmen may result in wicket. So we'll have to see how it goes in the second innings.
It would also be very interesting to watch because Pakistan have 3 left-arm fast bowlers. So I'd be very interested to see if, like what you were saying before the first innings began, where there's one end for which is useful for the left-handers, left-hand fast bowlers. Who bowls? And if the Pakistan fast bowlers, the left-arm fast bowlers actually are utilized from that end a lot more than the other end. So these are aspects that players know. And I'm asking Zach if he actually knew if those Pakistani bowlers would know that there's one end that helps the left-arm fast bowlers, and if that end would be used, because that would be those 1%ers that add to a victory, right?
Well, Wasim Bhai is on the ground, so he'll have had a chat with them, and if there are any questions, he would have told them exactly, because even on commentary, that's all the conversations they kept having with him and Sean Pollock. Okay, which end do you want, even though we are on commentary?
When you play at Lords, this discussion has to happen. Because this is the only ground in the world where you actually see the slope, which is so drastic and helpful for bowlers, or being successful enough to create that doubt in batsman's mind.
So you're saying that when you bowl from the nursery end, which is the far end away from the pavilion, it slopes this way. So as a left armer, when you're coming in, you might get drift in and then the movement away with
exactly, slope. Exactly, yes. So in the air, the swing will be in, and then with the slope, it may go away. So as a batsman, you're looking to play the swing, and you're lining yourself up for that. If the ball goes away, you can nick it as well, or you miss it and get bowled.
So you've got Wahab Riaz, who's sort of senior in age. You've got Amir, who's the senior most in terms of what he's done in this tournament. And then poor Shaheen Afridi will have this pull the short straw.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Sarfraz is aware of this and he actually utilizes it. It makes for great cricket viewership, right? And from the outside, for people who understand the game, who are passionate about the game, about these little nuances, it makes for great viewership.
Certainly does. Imran Tahir, in the meantime, he's been picking up a few records along the way. He's now become South Africa's most successful, it could be Pakistani's, but he's become South Africa's most successful World Cup bowler. And he's going past the great Alan Donald, Sean Pollock also present at Lords there, and a few other big names in Morne Morkel, Dale Steyn. Kloosner may not be a great in terms of pure bowling, but one of the great all-rounders in World Cup history. We all remember 1999. But since you talked about turn, just the reverse of what happened to Pakistan in the India-Pakistan game. The Indian spinners saw a little bit of turn for Imad Wasim, and Shadab was not bowling his best. Today the reverse is happening. They'll have seen what little Imran Tahir has got, if any, and then seen that what they could get. Haris Sohail there as well.
Well, I'm not going to make predictions about those pitches there in England, because they seem to be working right the opposite of whatever I've decided or whatever I've guessed. So I don't know how much help there's going to be for the spinners, but it looks like a really good track to bat on. Yeah. But I think Pakistan would take heart from the fact that they've been a better bowling side than a batting side, so they'll be backing themselves to defend this score for sure.
What have the Pakistan bowlers done in this tournament? All the talk has been Mohammad Amir, and of course he's done well. He's been the leader of the pack. What about the rest of the pacers as far as Pakistan are concerned? No Hassan Ali in this game, but that's what they've done so far. If you look at their total, Wahab Riaz, Hassan Ali, Shaheen Shah Afridi, 9 wickets, one man alone, 13 wickets. So today they'll have to see how they stack up and help Mohammad Amir.
They would want Amir to continue with the confidence which he has so far in the tournament and the wicket taking ability which he has shown in the World Cup. Let's see with the other bowlers also. You can't really go by that number, because the Pakistan fielding also has not been up to the mark. There have been some drop catches in the slips and in the outfield, so that's something which has not helped, and particularly Wahab Riaz. I think he has been bowling well. It's just that so far the numbers are not showing exactly what kind of efforts which he has been putting it with regard to his bowling. Hassan Ali has been off color, so I think this is the good move what Pakistan think tank has done by bringing in Shaheen Afridi, because that game which he played, he was looking in rhythm. That game he was bowling a little too full or too short, which ended up in him going for more runs. But on the whole, he looked better than Hassan Ali. So I think this change also in the bowling department will help them in this match. And like we've always been saying, once you go past that 300 score, we've seen this Pakistan team against England. Once they've gone past 300, they were all pumped up. They knew how to get the job done. So you can expect this Pakistan bowling attack to get the job done. I feel Shadab also, is someone who will have some kind of impact on the game. Looking at Imran Tahir, how he was bowling, he'll take a lesson or two from his spell and implement it in the second inning as well.
Reverse swing with the 2 Kookaburra balls.
I doubt it, because there is enough grass on the wicket as well. It'll be special if we get to see reverse, but I don't think reverse is going to come into play in this innings.
So I guess, just inspired by the change of Haris Sohail, Shaheen Shah Afridi will be thinking, okay, no pressure on me, but if one change is so inspirational, it just looks like Pakistan are doing all the small things right today.
They are doing all the small things right, and one hopes that they continue to do it, because they're playing good cricket. It's not that like they've played bad cricket through the tournament. They've just played it in patches. And like I think Zach was saying, I think Wahab Riaz has been, I think, the most unluckiest bowler in this tournament, because he's bowled exceptionally well, but the numbers don't do justice to that because of the number of drop catches that have gone down in his bowling. So I'm sure Shaheen Afridi comes in feeling that, okay, I have a gap to fill, and I want to fill that gap within the side so that we move forward into the tournament more positively.
The only number Pakistan won't want to look at is in the last 6 ODIs, they have conceded over 300 on 5 occasions.
They're not looking at numbers
They're not looking at numbers at all. This is just for everyone on My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live to give you an idea of what they've been doing. And I'm sure if they were to look at it, if someone did remind them that, they'll know that they've got a change in the team. They've got they look like a rejuvenated unit. And Haris Sohail has certainly given them, his bowling unit at least, a little bit more to play with, even though it's just a little bit over 300. What about
I think they have enough. Also, when you're looking at South Africa team in the field, how their body language was in the later half, say about after 30 overs. There were some emotions being displayed by all the players. That's something which shows that maybe the frustration is creeping in that side. And that actually might help. Amla was not on the field, so we have to find out whether it's external injury which has kept him out, and he will be walking into bat, or Markram might be opening the innings for South Africa along with Quinton. But I think that frustration at times don't let you express yourself. That once the emotions take over, you kind of lose track. So I'm expecting that kind of innings from South Africa with bat.
And also South Africa is not the best. They haven't played spin very well in the recent past. So that Shadab Khan and Mohammad Hafiz will come into play, because they sometimes don't judge length very well. So they play forward to a ball they play back to a ball that's pitched up, and they get hurried up. Chahal got a wicket like that of Bhimani, if I'm not wrong, in the game against India. So that there's a little bit of struggle to the spin as well. So Pakistan hold all the cards right now. It's about going there and playing to potential.
I just want to ask the panel who they think are going to be the keys to this chase. Remember, if they do chase it successfully, it'll be their highest ever successful World Cup chase. 297 at the moment is their highest. So they've got a record of their own to break. Quick look at the South African 11 as we wrap up here. And this is where we are not sure if Hashim Amla has been out of the field for a long time. That's why we saw JP Duminy fielding there. And if he's unable to come till number 7, so Aiden Markram automatically would be opening with Quinton de Kock and everyone shifts up one place. But that'd be a blow if they've had to wait till that long for Hashim Amla to come in.
Well, yeah, as in Hashim Amla, someone who utilizes the power play, beautifully. So they would want him to be opening the batting, preferably. But given the situation, I would like to see Rassie van der Dussen batting slightly higher up the order as well. So if he's coming one number higher, so I think it's a blessing in disguise for South Africa. But God forbid, nothing serious with Hashim Amla.
Yeah, he's been really their leading light because we showed you at the very start that South Africa have been one team not in that elite list of teams who have been scoring multiple hundreds, which is one of the reasons why they are where they are. But Rassie van der Dussen certainly has been flying the torch of the South African batting, as it were, striking at 90, average of 60, couple of 50s in the tournament so far, and he came in with a reputation. He was the man really looking to fill the boots of a certain Abraham Benjamin de Villiers.
Look, when someone like this playing a support role around the senior players, what we're talking about, around Amlas and Quinton de Kock, Faf, Miller for that matter, then this side would have been possibly where New Zealand side is right now. And that is something which is missing for South Africa in this World Cup, that their batting has not been up to the mark. So that has had an effect on the bowling as well. So it's that's how the game goes. In team sports, more often than not, you've seen, if you've scored say 300 plus runs and your bowling is letting you down by conceding those runs, it's not going to have a great environment in the team, or in terms of morale of the team, or how they are carrying themselves. The frustrations starts creeping in, and then it has an adverse effect on that winning ratio or winning percentage, which we keep talking about. I think it's the classic case of that happening here with South Africa. Unless someone comes out there and plays a brilliant 100 or a brilliant knock to get them, shake things up, it's not going to happen. So far, the signs of that maybe only given by Rassie so far in the tournament for South Africa. Quinton, after that run out, I think in one of the games he got run out, Bangladesh game if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And after that he just kind of seems thinking about too many other things while he's batting than just going out there and playing the game. So that might be the case with most of the batsmen. So they'll have to shake those kind of thoughts off and focus on the game. It's not hard. It's not hard when your team is struggling for form, your players are struggling for form, and like how you seen in the field, emotions are coming out. When you are emotional, at times things don't go your way. So let's see what happens. If someone shakes things up and gets that kind of 100 going in the second innings, or they just succumb to whatever has been happening around and face another loss.
Have you been impressed with what little you've seen of van der Dussen? Because obviously South Africa themselves are planning already for the future, maybe for the next World Cup. Is he someone who looks like one for the future?
Oh, definitely. He looks like he's a very sorted batsman, knows where he wants to play, where he wants to score his runs, where are his areas of run scoring ability is concerned. So, he seems clear about those things, and I think he is definitely one for the future for South Africa.
Yeah, I had a privilege of seeing him in the CPL, and even though it's a different format of the game, you can judge somebody's temperament very quickly, and he was playing in Chris Gale's team, and every single time he was coming out at 10 for 3 and 15 for 4 and taking their team home every single time, which is why people were impressed with him, getting 40s, 50s, 60s, that's in T20 cricket, and now he needs to convert these 50s of T20 cricket into hundreds in ODI cricket. Well, we need to still get a prediction because, as you can see, none of us sitting on the My 11 Circle expert couch. We were, of course, shooting in the dark without quite knowing what it was, but I suspect if even the 15th over, we wouldn't have revised it too much till Haris Sohail came out. So what's it going to be for the end show? Who's going to be sitting on the couch, gentlemen?
Okay, I'm going to swing the other way. I think it's South Africa in the 49th over.
Oh, well done. South Africa in the 49th. Okay, that's a good one. Bold call from Robin Uthappa here. Zaheer, are you sticking to Pakistan?
I think, yeah, looks like Pakistan will carry the momentum of their first innings into their bowling. they're looking upbeat. So they will possibly have that edge in the second innings as well. Possibly knock couple over early and win the match. I'm not sure which over or how it's going to finish.
Well, I'm
but I
also
think
going with
will
Pakistan,
end
so
up-
we have to pick a number for South Africa.
Okay, then 50th over.
No, as in which how much will-
Overs, right?
No, you're saying Pakistan will win. So how much
Yeah.
will South Africa score?
How much will South Africa score?
How many runs
Okay, 270.
270. All right. I'm going to go with 259. 259. Just a little less than that. And Robin, of course, no matter when it happens, he's going with South Africa. Even if it's not the 49th over, as the sole South African flag bearer, he will sit on the My 11 Circle expert couch. Well, Imran Tahir has said there's not quite that much help for the bowlers, so he reckons his batsmen are going to go out and get it, and he probably doesn't even have to put the pads on. He's an optimist, old Imran Tahir. That's all we have for you. We'll see you in the 15th over on Cricbuzz Combox. And to wrap Sunday up, My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live.